The situation at the moment in China for scrap is that their collection systems are not that well established. They will improve in China, and scrap will become more available for steelmakers over time, and we foresee in the next 10 to 15 years that there will be more and more scrap available domestically for Chinese steelmakers. However, will all this available scrap be utilised by the steelmakers? That's the question. And with the current prices of iron ore, what incentives are there for BOF? So this is one of the reasons why we think there will be potential for some increase in scrap exports out of China in the next 10 to 15, 20 years. A lot of this scrap is in infrastructure, in dams and bridges and so on and so forth. And that's not going to surface for a good many decades. But if China adopts anything like Western practices for steelmaking, then they will tend to go for higher grade steels, which will mean higher scrap qualities than that's currently available. There will be an incentive, I think, in China to build more electric arc furnace facilities, simply because the emission levels out of an electric arc shop is far lower than an integrated plant. But you've got to supply these shops with power, and at the moment there isn't enough power to develop electric arc furnace steelmaking up to the levels of the rest of the world. Electric arc furnace proportion is about 11% in China, compared to 40 to 50% in the rest of the world. And if you look at Turkey, of course, that's 70%. So, will we see a change in steelmaking practice? I'm sure in the long term, yes, but in the next 10 to 20 years, no. I think a lot of these integrated plants are still fairly new. The shelf life of an integrated steel plant is huge. It's long. Blast furnaces don't need relining for 10 to 15 years. And the other factor that you've got to think about is that a lot of the EAF shops in China are actually fed with hot metal. So another reason for not using more and more scrap, because iron ore is cheap, and if you can feed an electric arc furnace with hot metal, then why do you need scrap?